So I am just recording a quick video to show how this photo system in the home theme works, and also just kind of demo some sort of like end-to-end how this all fits together. Um, so let's start off. So I have home themed zip file here in my temp directory, and I'll just unzip it with the default Mac zip. So now I have the directory. I'm not going to run through the whole process of installing and using Ruby, but so I'll just have bundle install to get the dependencies for this, and bundle exec to run it. Both those commands are verbatim in the README. So now I have the site. Okay, all the sections, etc. So yeah, the thing that I want to kind of demonstrate is how to use photos. So I'm going to open up a new terminal, go back to my temp directory, and I'll start with a photo. So let's go, let's see, I'll just grab a photo from back in SF. I'm using Capture One, but anything that can give you like a full size JPEG is good. I do really enjoy like the Capture One kind of flow. All right, so that runs through and that dumps into my temp directory. So now you have this large file with this cryptic name. So now I'll add this bespoke yarn global add bespoke. So this is the tool that I wrote that resizes these photos and kind of renames them to predictable file names. There's really the hard stuff is this library under the hood called Sharp, but Bespoke just kind of does predictable stuff with it. So you give Bespoke the name of the full-size JPEG file, and then this is a view of Vernal, so the name of the photo, and it shows you all these sizes. Then if you look at the directory, you have all of these nicely resized and converted images. Okay, so I'll close out Capture One, and then we'll do the awkward dance through the S3 console. All right, so I'm going to create a new bucket called like my site bucket, something like that. Put that in North Virginia, doesn't really matter. It is important to unclick block all public access because your CloudFront is going to read from this bucket. Okay. Somebody somewhere in the world has a bucket named the same. And then you have to acknowledge that everything will be public. It's fine. I mean, it's going to be public. This is a website. All right, so now that S3 bucket exists. So I'm going to add a new CloudFront distribution. So S3 will do the storage here. CloudFront will basically make it fast, do the connect that to people's machines. Right, my site bucket demo will be the origin of this. So CloudFront will basically like pull files from that S3 bucket and send them to the web. All this is fine. I usually like to just do HTTPS only, just because it seems right to me. And I'm not going to configure a custom DNS for this. But what I will do is, so I can see this one is in progress, I'll go copy this domain name, go back to my site, and then edit the configuration. So there's this line with photo prefix, and that should be this domain name of this CloudFront distribution, which is probably still propagating and stuff. But while it's propagating, I'll go back to S3, find this bucket that I just created and upload those files. Just upload all those guys. Great. Okay, close that out. And so now there's going to be an example photo post in the site. So this is like an example SFA or something like that, but this is not called SFA. It is from today. So I'll just rename the photo in here. So like this 2021-06-11 matches the first part of each of these files that is in the S3 bucket. So I'll start up the site again with this new configuration for where the photo prefix is. And so the CloudFront DNS might take a little while to be created. And also the bucket is going to take a little while to actually resolve. So in the meantime, I am going to demo yet another part of this little solution. So I'm going to sign into my Netlify account. Going to limit the number of these terminals that are open. Okay, so now I just have a terminal that's in TMCW theme. So I'm going to do like a git init dot here to create a repository here. Do I have a, oh, okay. It looks like this particular zip file actually included the Git directory, so I'm gonna, great. All right, so I'll add this git ignore and add the rest of the files. And now I have like the first commit of this site, basically. And say my site's first commit. Create a new repo for this. Site demo. Copy that and add it as an origin. Git add. Done this a million times. Origin. Okay. Push that first commit to it. Okay, so now this site is up there on GitHub and on Netlify. Netlify should be able to find it. Go to Gadget Netlify. Cool. All right, and so it is going to detect a lot of these build settings from the Netlify configuration that's already in the site and start deploying the first version of it. So here, starting up, etc. There's also some fancy Netlify specific caching that's in this theme, which obviously does not kick in for the first run because there are no results to cache the first time. All right, and so checking that CloudFront has resolved. It doesn't seem happy yet, which in the world of Amazon could mean a million different things. So we're in for a little bit of Amazon debugging. Okay. Here's my site demo bucket, behaviors, origins, site demo. So if we open that up, it works through this method, but it doesn't want to work through this method. Given that this is Amazon, and many different things could have happened. Okay, 403. Well, in the meantime, let's check up on Netlify. What I found is that like early on, when you're configuring the AWS stuff, when you have like one service that's connecting to another, it tends to take like a really long time for those things to kind of talk to each other, just regardless of how you do it. Can't connect because of something at this time. Really might just be because the S3 bucket is so fresh. Oh, it also might be because there's because I forgot to make those guys public. Let's see. Let's try make public. Yeah, it does look like they are not currently public. So that could be the issue. Yeah, Netlify takes a long time to bake the first time, but this is really not something that I think you should be super worried about, because caching just kicks in. All right, so in the meantime, that bucket started to cooperate. It looks like we have a few kind of cached incorrect responses, but we also have this response that's working great. Or was I just fat fingering one of these? Ha, there you go. All right, I was just not putting in the HTTPS. Great. Okay, deploy, preview, site's live, images work. Great. Okay, so the other thing that I really recommend doing, but I don't really have there are just too many things to really demo it in this format, is a custom domain. Definitely recommend doing one. I think that can you even like add a custom domain? Yeah, you can do that in the Netlify UI. And then I totally recommend like adding a custom domain for your images. Because right now this is really configured to go to cloudfront.net. If you configure like a custom domain, then you'll be able to let it go to like photos.yourname.com, and then if you want to switch your photos to being served by Cloudflare or Google CDN or et cetera, that will all work. Cool. So with this setup, with the default kind of Netlify setup, any changes that you make here, so if you go to like writing, post, example post, here's the example post that you're seeing here. If you edit this, let's create a new branch just to see the niceness, which really, I think it will be by default here, or yeah, there we go. Yeah, so Netlify really gives you like this really fancy and super useful ability to preview PRs. So whenever I'm doing like some kind of complicated post, I'll always go through this. And also, as you can see, this was just really, really fast. All of those native things that the Ruby relied on were all cached, and so we just built the site in 20 seconds or so. So let's see, what did I add here? Just an ellipsis there. So I'll merge that. And also on this guy, if you look at the Netlify UI, see that it's now doing a production build of that, reading it from the file, etc. Yeah, I guess you have to install the Netlify app for it to give you the really nice status here. But it will give you like this site has been deployed kind of thing. And you go to this, the actual version, and you have this ellipse. So the site was just updated. Cool. So that's basically the gist. And the README PDF should include all of the kind of directions and the snippets for how to connect all these things together. But yeah, enjoy. See ya.